And so I went around the bed and I took a look at her and she was smiling like that. I was like, oh, a whole smiling look. And these are the kind of stuff that you see in movies.
Hello everyone, my name is Hafidz Rahman, and as all of you are well aware, I have a little podcast called Huntu on Spotify. But today, I am being invited by MediaCorp for their horror campaign ScreamApura, where I will be interviewing Singaporeans and I'll be asking them about their horror experiences. So first up, we have Eugene from Supernatural Confessions. How are you, Eugene?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much, Hafiz, for having me here.
Thank you. I'm very honored because I also listened to some of the stories and read some of the posts on your Facebook.
Thank you.
Okay, so now my first question is, I think all of the questions are pertaining to anything supernatural or horror.
Okay.
So my first question is, do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, Hafiz, for sure. To me, a lot of things that happen that people try to push aside as something rational, I believe it must be the Huntu.
So he has this tagline that he goes with, it must be the Huntu.
Yeah.
It won't be anything else, just the Huntu.
You know.
So I want to know, like, what is actually the first experience of the supernatural that made you actually start believing in this, in these entities or these spirits or whatsoever? Yeah. And what actually happened? What sparked the interest?
So from a young age, I have always been reading up books on, because I'm Peranakan family, right? So Peranakan, grandmother, that's how I got the whole Huntu thing. Because if you sakit, Huntu. Jatuh, Huntu. Everything, Huntu.
Rice cannot cook, Huntu.
Huntu, you know? So that's how it must be the Huntu came about as a homage to my grandmother. And being brought up in that kind of environment, superstitions and beliefs, they are very commonplace for me. But of course, I don't get to see the Pontianak or the Pocong as if people talk about it like jumping in front of me. I've not seen that. And even at a young age, when strange things happen, I was always able to tell myself that it must be my imagination. Maybe it's a voice from somewhere. There's always a possibility to science it away somehow. But when it came to 2012 to 2014, for 2 full years on a daily basis, I was faced with a situation where I can no longer pretend that there's a logical explanation. For example, I put flour on the floor, and when I'm scared, as a man, right, you're scared, you throw temper, you try to be aggressive, right? So I throw flour on the floor and I challenge the spirit. You come to me, if you're there, you walk around and show yourself. Footprints appear on the floor in front of me.
This is in your home?
In the home of the person I was trying to help. Right? And I had, back in those days, it was only a BlackBerry phone with a very low quality camera. I'm not even sure where the footages are. But when you see things like that, and then you start to really wonder about your sanity, then over time, when we did certain things, like I would go for investigation and I go to houses and I say, okay, if there's a spirit here, show yourself. Then Mother Mary will fall off the altar. Then you tell yourself, maybe it's the wind. And then in Paranormal Investigation, you always ask twice, right? If it's one time, it could be a coincidence. You ask twice. If the spirit is you, show yourself. And then the beads from the rosary beads just burst on the ground. How do you explain that, right? So there are many things that happen in that few years where I can no longer try to rationalize it as something that I can explain away with science. And therefore, I am a firm believer that there are things out there that we cannot explain, and I can only term them as the Huntu.
So now my next question is, because I think you have been dealing with all these supernatural beings or whatsoever, and meeting people and trying to help them or trying to make sense of the whole situation. Yeah. I want to know, what is the single most terrifying moment where you really go, okay, I will never forget this for the rest of my life?
This would be sometime, probably in 2012, maybe May-June period. And we watch movies like Conjuring, we watch movies like Paranormal Activity, and these are movies. You don't expect them to happen in real life. There was one time I woke up feeling very cold, and I look at the time on my handphone. It was 3 o'clock, right? Put it back down, and turned to my left, and I saw my then girlfriend was standing off the bed. We were in a hotel room, by the way, off the bed, and standing at the wall, and she just did this. And I said, okay, something. Oh, Lord!
This is the girlfriend?
Something, look like my girlfriend.
This is a scorn ex. Thank you so much for being part of this. I love it when people get scared. It's like a perverse kind of happiness
Joy,
that I
right?
feel joy. Yeah. Okay, go. Continue. So your girlfriend was just at the side of the bed.
Yeah, facing the wall, and she just rocked.
Oh, so she was standing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I went around the bed, and I took a look at her, and she was smiling like that. I was like, oh, the whole smiling look, and these are the kind of stuff that you see in movies.
Yeah.
So, you go like, hey, don't play lah, don't play lah, And then suddenly she turned to me and she smiled and she started walking towards the balcony.
Is she okay? At that point of time, did you thought she was sleepwalking or maybe?
It could have been a possibility. There's so many
But
possibilities.
she has never sleepwalked before.
Never sleepwalked before, but that look on her face, that smile,
Right.
it's just freaky.
Okay.
Right? And this came after a series of things that already happened, so it was not the first of it. It was the most memorable, right? But
Right.
by then, I already knew something was in her.
Okay.
Then she opened the balcony door, she climbed out the balcony, and she was about to jump.
Oh no.
I had to drag her down and I pin her, and she was a very petite lady, but it was a struggle. And then she started to growl, that's when, because I was very new into paranormal at that point in time. I wasn't into investigation, I wasn't into doing what I'm doing now. So the lack of knowledge and what I've watched from movies just all accumulated into the one episode. And from then on, I said, you don't talk rubbish, right? And then she said, you can feel them too, right? I said, feel who? TV turned on by itself. Then in my mind, I said, okay, maybe she's lying down on the remote control. Maybe lah, right? Then just as I was thinking that, the toilet flush and the shower turned on by itself again. At that point in time, what are you gonna do?
Right.
Walk away and let her jump?
Yeah.
I think there are things here. I can feel there are things in this place. What about yourself? What's your most memorable Huntu experience?
My most memorable. Okay, now I'm freaked out because I set myself up to do this. My most memorable experience, I think for me, just like you, I have never. Please stay back. Thank you. So remain at the back. Don't come in. I have never experienced anything like outwardly, like I can see things or whatsoever. But it's always like sounds and smells. Now I'm freaked out. I can't even stop looking at the back. Bodoh lah. Okay. But I remember watching my mom being possessed. So that was for me like she's very mobile. She's very mobile. I've seen my mom got possessed, and I think that was one of the times that I really couldn't wrap my head around this whole situation, because I know it was my mother,
It just gets someone like watching you from the back.
I know, yeah, it's quite unnerving.
You see your mother watching you from the back.
Yeah, so I know, like, physically it's my mother, but I also know that it's not my mother anymore, And this happened during a wedding. It was so interesting because I was being asked to, Malays, when we go and, for example, like the groom comes into the bride's place.
Yeah.
So they have like this gantry. They have this culture where the families were like, no, you have to give us money, whatever,
Yeah.
And then from the back of the event hall, I see my mother starting to do silat, and I'm like, huh? And this is not the first time lah. I tell you, I'm a very scary cat. Don't do that lah, please, thank you.
Cepun.
Cepun. So.
Lost your train of thought. You saw your mother.
Yeah, saw my mother doing some stuff. So I said, and this wasn't the first time, So when it happened, I was very frustrated because I was like, if it happened in the comfort of our own home, it's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but but there are people here. People nowadays they always like handphone and all that. So I said, I do not want people to start filming you, and all that. But before she got possessed, she did this. So she has this thing where she just did this. So she said, and then like her mouth will get locked. So she just says like, yeah, she like, nak masuk, So I said, wait, don't do this. I need to go there and do the whole gantry thing. So
She can't control it, right?
Yeah, she can
It will just
control
go
it.
in
Yeah,
like that.
correct. So she just started screaming, and then after that she fell flat on the floor, and then we had to like carry her across the car park. It was like, yeah, very dramatic
Of
lah.
all the supernatural
Beings.
encounters that I've seen, to me, possession is the worst.
Yeah, correct.
And when you talk about the hand, right? So I've seen people who are getting possessed. They know, and they will say that the finger and all that will start to cramp up, and it's coming.
Yeah.
So, but to people who don't believe in the supernatural, they say, oh, that's having seizure, that's fits.
Correct.
But then after that, when the person wake up and she or he starts speaking in different languages or different tonality, or maybe being able to tell you things that comes true a week later, and then where do we balance that out with?
Okay, my last question is before we wrap up. After all these years, right, you have been dealing with a lot of different cases and possibly have heard of different types of Huntu in that sense, right? What is that one Huntu that you feel is like really not like my least favorite?
Least favorite actually is the Chikpun, but I would say that the demons are the one that are the scariest, because like with regards to Pontianak, right? Some people believe they are jinn. Some people believe they are orang bunyan. Some people believe they are mythological creatures. But when I deal with demons, like those are the sentient beings that can really screw your life up, and they don't play by your rules.
Interesting. All right, thank you so much, Eugene, for being with us today for ScreamApura. And we hope that this would inspire everyone. Till then, we hope to see you again. Thank you so much. My name is Hafidz Rahman, and this is
My name is Eugene from Supernatural Confessions, signing out.